In this video, we'll walk you through creating an RTS-style camera in Unreal Engine. You'll learn how to set up smooth movement, zoom, and rotation with a focus on practical use in games. Here's the step-by-step process to achieve this. For this project, I'll be starting with a blank template in Unreal Engine. You can choose either Blueprint or C++. It doesn't matter for this setup. Once selected, click Create to begin. Let's head to the project settings and scroll down to the Inputs section. Here, we'll start by creating an action mapping. Name the action mapping Mouse Rotation Activate. We'll bind this action to the middle mouse button. Next, let's create an axis mapping. The first one will be named Move Forward. We'll bind this to the W and S keys. W will move the camera forward and S will move it backward with a scale of -1. The next axis mapping will be Move Right. Bind this one to the D and A keys. D will move the camera to the right and A will move it to the left with a scale of -1. Now let's create another axis mapping called Rotate RTS Camera. We'll bind this to the E and Q keys. E will rotate the camera to the right and Q will rotate it to the left with a scale of -1. For zooming, we need an axis mapping called Zoom RTS Cam. Bind this to the mouse wheel axis. Next, create an axis mapping called Mouse Rotate. Bind this to the mouse X axis by selecting mouse X from the key binding options. We also need another axis mapping named Mouse Rotation Up. Bind this to the mouse Y axis by selecting mouse Y. Lastly, let's create an axis mapping called Move Elevation. Bind this to the Z and C keys and set the scale of C to 1. While we may not use this one immediately, it's good to have it set up for future use. In the content drawer, create a new folder and name it Main. Inside this folder, create another subfolder and name it Blueprints. Now, within the Blueprints folder, create a new Blueprint class. Choose Pawn as the parent class for the blueprint and name it BPRTSCam. In this blueprint, we'll need two components for now. First, add a spring arm component. Then, under the spring arm, add a camera component. These two components will form the base of our RTS camera setup. Let's configure the spring arm and camera. Start by selecting the spring arm. On the right-hand side, set the target arm length to 600. In the transform section, adjust the rotation values. Set Y to -105, X to 180, and Z to 180. This looks good for an RTS camera. Compile and save the blueprint. Go to the event graph and create your first function. Name this function Move Forward. Next, create a new variable, not a local variable, but a regular one. Name this variable Movement Speed. After that, compile and save the blueprint so you can set a default value for movement speed. Once the default value is set, compile and save it again. Now, go to the Move Forward function. Add a new input of type float and name it axis value. Compile and save your blueprint. Multiply the axis value by the movement speed variable that we created earlier. Next, get the actor forward vector to determine the actor's heading direction. Finally, add a movement input node for the actor. Connect the forward vector node to the world direction input. Then, connect the axis value to the scale value input on the add movement input node. The next function we need to create is Move Right. Start by adding a new function and name it Move Right. Click on the starting node and add a new input. Just like before, name this input axis value and set its type to float. Multiply the axis value by the movement speed variable we created earlier. Then get the actor right vector to determine the actor's right direction. Finally, Add a movement input node and connect the return value of the right vector to the wall direction input and the axis value to the scale value input. Let's create another function. Name this function Zoom RTS camera. Now we need to create some global variables. The first variable will be named new target arm length for the spring arm. Next, add a variable named zoom speed. Then create another variable called maximum zoom and one more named minimum zoom. All of these variables should be of type float. Once the variables are created, compile and save the blueprint. Now, set the default values for these variables. For minimum zoom, set the value to 200. For maximum zoom, set the value to 3000. For zoom speed, set the value to 40. Lastly, for new target arm length, set this value to 0 for now. Now, drag and drop the zoom speed variable into the function and add a new input. Like the previous functions, add an input named axis value and set its type to float. Multiply the zoom speed by the axis value to calculate a new zoom value. Add this result to the current value of new target arm length. Use a clamp float node to ensure the zoom value stays within the defined range. Connect the new target arm length value to the clamp node's value input. Set the minimum zoom and the maximum zoom as the clamp's range to prevent exceeding the bounds. Next, set the new target arm length variable to the result of the clamp. Use the spring arm component to get its current target arm length. Now, search for getWord delta seconds and bring this node into the function. Use a float interp2 node to smoothly transition the target arm length. Connect target arm length as the current value, new target arm length as the target value, getWord delta seconds as delta time, and set the interpolation speed to 15. Use the result of the float interp2 node to update the target arm length. Finally, search for set target arm length and set its value to the output of the float interp2 node. With this logic completed, the zoom functionality is fully implemented. Clean up the blueprint by organizing the nodes. Compile and save it. Don't forget to add comments to all the nodes for clarity and documentation. The next function we will create is Rotate RTS Camera. Start by adding a new function and naming it Rotate RTS Camera. Add a new input named Axis Value, just like the other inputs we created before. Next, create a new variable and name it Camera Rotation Speed. Compile the blueprint, then set the default value of camera rotation speed to 4. Drag and drop the camera rotation speed variable into the graph. Multiply it by the axis value input to calculate the rotation adjustment value. Add the getActor rotation node and break the resulting rotator to access its roll pitch and yaw components. Add the calculated rotation adjustment value to the yaw component. Clamp the yaw value to keep it within a valid range. Set the minimum value to minus 360 and the maximum to 360. Use the make rotator node to combine the roll pitch and the clamped yaw value into a new rotator. Finally, add the set actor rotation node to apply the new rotation to the actor. Connect the pitch and roll directly to their respective outputs. Connect the clamped yaw value to the yaw input. This ensures the rotation works correctly and smoothly. Once everything is set up, compile and save the blueprint. Let's create a new function. Name this function Rotate RTS Camera Up and Down. Like the previous functions, add an input for this one and name it Axis Value. Set its type to float. Use the variable camera rotation speed and multiply it by the axis value. Next, grab the spring arm component and get its target rotation using the getTarget rotation node. Add the result of the multiplication to the pitch value of the target rotation. Clamp this value using a clamp float node. Set the clamp range from -80 to -10. These values can be adjusted as needed during testing to fine-tune the rotation limits. Use the clamped value to create a new rotator with the Make Rotator node. Connect this value to the pitch input of the rotator. For the Z value, use the original yaw value from the target rotation. Now, get the Set World Rotation node for the spring arm. Connect the output of the Make Rotator node to the new rotation input of the Set World Rotation node. Finally, compile and save the blueprint. Now, let's move to the event graph and bring in all the input events we created earlier. Start by adding the input move forward event. Next, add the input move right event. Then, include the input rotate RTS camera event, which we set up in the input system. Add the input zoom RTS camera event. Finally, add the input mouse rotation activate event. Now we have to create a new variable. We will name this variable mouse activate. The type of this variable should be Boolean. Hold Alt and drag the mouse activate variable into the graph twice, once to set it on press and once on release. On press, set the value to true, and on release, set it to false. Next, we need to add the move forward function. Drag the move forward function into the graph. Connect the axis value input to the move forward function. Similarly, add the move right function and connect its axis value. Then do the same for the rotate RTS camera and zoom RTS camera functions by connecting their axis value inputs. Now everything is set up for basic movement. Next, we'll set up mouse events for the X and Y axes to check if the mouse is hitting the screen borders. This will allow the camera to move when the mouse reaches the edges of the screen. Remember to like the video and subscribe for more tutorials. First, get the player controller node and from this, fetch the mouse position. This will provide the X and Y coordinates of the mouse relative to the screen. Then, get the viewport size. This will give us the screen's dimensions. Split the structure pins for both the mouse position and viewport size. Finally, divide the Y position of the mouse by the Y size of the viewport. Do the same for the X position and the X size of the viewport. With this setup, we'll have the screen relative mouse positions ready for further logic. Now we have two nodes ready to check if the mouse is hitting the screen borders. We'll check if the value is greater than 0.98 or less than 0.02. These thresholds indicate the mouse is either near the top or bottom 2% of the screen. If the value is greater than 0.98, we'll move the camera forward. For this, we manually set the axis value to -1. If the value is less than 0.02, we'll set the axis value to +1 instead. This ensures that when the mouse hits the top or bottom border of the screen, the camera moves accordingly. This behavior mimics typical RTS game mechanics. Next, let's handle the Y-axis. We'll use the mouse event for the Y-axis to determine if the mouse is moving horizontally or vertically. To do this, we copy the logic and apply it to the Y-axis mouse event. Just like with the X-axis, we'll check if the value is greater than 0.98 to detect if it's hitting the right border. If so, we'll move to the right by setting the axis value to +1. If the value is less than 0.02, we'll move to the left by setting the axis value to -1. With this logic in place, the camera will move when the mouse hits the horizontal borders. For movement to the left or right, the axis value will alternate between 1 and -1 depending on the border hit. Finally, let's add mouse input for rotation. We'll use the input axis mouse rotation up to allow rotating the camera up or down. This will only activate when the mouse activate rotation boolean is enabled, which happens when the middle mouse button is held. Connect the axis value to the rotation input to complete this functionality. Now, let's set up rotation using the middle mouse button. Start by checking for the input axis mouse rotation input that we created earlier in the project settings. Add a branch node and connect it to the mouse activate rotation boolean. If mouse activate rotation is enabled, we can proceed to rotate the RTS camera. Use the axis value from the mouse rotation input to handle the rotation. Once done, compile and save your blueprint. In the event begin play, we need to set up the input system for both UI mode and game mode. Start by getting the player controller. Use the get player controller node to retrieve it. From here, set the input mode to game and UI. Use the set input mode game and UI node to handle this. Next, create a sequence node. This will allow us to execute multiple actions in order. For the first pin of the sequence, set the input mode. Configure it to lock always and make sure hide cursor during capture is unchecked. Then, still using the player controller, enable the show mouse cursor property. Set it to true so the player can see the cursor while interacting with the viewport. Once the input system is configured, we need to set up the maximum and minimum zoom for the new target arm length. To do this, divide the maximum zoom value by 3. This ensures the spring arm remains at a balanced position. Bring in the spring arm component. Use the set target arm length node to configure its length. Connect the result of the maximum zoom divided by 3 to this node. Finally, connect this setup to the second pin of the sequence node. This completes the configuration for the new target arm length. With these steps, we have successfully set up the input system and configured the zoom limits. The final step is to clean up the blueprint and add one more component. Add a float pawn movement component to ensure movement functionality is enabled. Without this, the blueprint will not allow movement. Next, create a new blueprint class based on game mode base. Name this new blueprint as you prefer. In this example, I'll name it BP Sandbox Game Mode. Open the newly created blueprint and set the default pawn class to BPRTS-cam. After setting this, compile and save the blueprint. Go back to your map and in the world settings, set the game mode to BP is Sandbox Game Mode. Save the map and then run the project. Now you can see the RTS camera in action. It allows smooth RTS-style movement and camera control. While it's not fully orbital due to the up and down limits set at -80 and -10, this design ensures the camera doesn't behave oddly, such as passing through the ground. By adjusting these limits, you can enable full orbital rotation if desired. This setup is tailored for RTS games, keeping the camera in control and stable. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful for your projects. If this tutorial helped you, please like the video and subscribe for more Unreal Engine content. Your support keeps the channel growing and I'd love to have you along for the journey.